Okay, the timestamp's moving this time.
Okay, then
Okay.
be good.
Okay.
All right. So what is this, guys? What are we gonna watch today?
Okay, so this is The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, completed in the fewest number of pauses, without use of any major glitches. So this is a no major glitches category.
Yeah, technically, if you were to, technically not, because of some things that you're going to see. To accomplish the low pause, we are going to be doing some death abuse. Some of that takes place on the overworld, which for a traditional speed run is banned, but makes the low pause much more possible.
Okay, so I guess we'll start with a roll call. So I'm Waffle. I'm the creator of the TAS and the route of this.
I am Scrivo. I am literally a moron, but I talk good.
Yeah, and I'm Michael K, and for some reason I know a bunch of A Link to the Past.
Yeah, Michael is also another TASer of the game, so he'll know some stuff. So we got a lot to talk about at the beginning of this run before we get finished with Escape.
I think one thing, so Waffle, if I recall, you basically wanted to learn more about playing speedrunning Link to the Past, and as a way of learning basic movement and learning the tech, you decided to make this low tad, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. You can. What I recommended to anyone that's even slightly interested in tassing anything is just do it. It's so much fun and you learn so much about the game. So it's just a great thing to do. But I guess one thing while we just go through Escape, what defines a pause? So defining a pause in this game is a little bit different than, say, like Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time. So Super NES controllers have both a start and a select button. So the start button opens up the item menu, and the select button opens up a save and quit menu. So how I defined it in this run, originally I was trying to get just the fewest number of them total. But there was one point in the route, a new glitch got discovered that basically forced the very first save and quit, but it ended up reducing a start pause, so an item menu. So I ended up defining a select pause as half a pause, and a start pause is just a full pause. So the total number of pauses in this run in that context will be 20.5. So
A half pause.
yes.
What is the Super Mario 64?
Yeah, shout outs to TJ Henryoshi.
But will we end up in any parallel universes?
No, we will not,
Good,
unfortunately.
'cause that would be a major glitch.
Yeah. We do have to slow.
By the way, I am staring pretty intently at the chat, so if there are questions, please at me,
Yeah.
and I'll grab them. At Scrivo.
So while it's not technically like a glitch, what this run does not take use of is up, down, and left, right. So on the original console, if you press up and down at the same time, it kind of messes with Link's movement, which requires some hardware modification and is banned in most of our categories. So we will not be using that at all in the run.
A sarcastic but still informative question from the chat. What is a major glitch? We define a major glitch essentially, explained like I'm 5, is anything that lets you skip a dungeon. So out of bounds stuff, exploration glitches, door wacky stuff called door glitches. If you want to see all of the major glitches, you can check out the latest latest TAS on TAS videos for Link to the Past by FMP and Yuzahara. It's 100% major glitches, and it uses all of them. This is pretty much the opposite of that.
Yeah. There's still a lot of really cool minor glitches that get shown off that wouldn't really get shown off in any other category. So keep an eye out for that, especially near the end of the run.
Yep. Another thing that you won't be seeing here that you might see in a lot of more traditional TASs is most TASs use what's called up, down, or left, right, pressing the opposing buttons on the D-pad. That breaks this game pretty wide open. It lets you basically walk straight to the Triforce in less than 2 minutes. So we will be not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will obviously also not crash the game to arbitrary codes execute in anywhere, which would obviously also be pretty major.
Yeah. And even for general movement, I don't use up, down, left, right. So when you're moving up or left in this game, if you press right and left on every other frame, it speeds up your movement to 2 pixels per frame. So I guess I'll explain how general movement in this works. So when Link is moving left or up, he starts moving 2 pixels, and then 1 pixel, and then 2 pixels, and it alternates between those. But what we can do is we can input up for 1 frame, and then input left up for 1 frame. And if we're up against a wall, we'll move 2 pixels every frame. So you'll see a lot of just general faster movement when we're up against a wall, moving left or up.
Yeah, and that it's a meme by now, but that alternating movement speed is actually through a there is subpixels in this game, we have found. So that's the use of a subpixel on every frame of movement is what causes it to alternate between 2 and 1, 2 and 1.
Okay, so we just finished Escape, which is widely regarded as the most boring part of this game. So now there are 3 light world dungeons that we'll be going to. First is Eastern Palace, but before that, we have a little bit of a detour to make.
So you need some money, as I recall.
Yes, we need money as fast as possible to save time.
And how would you, is there a place that you could go to possibly get money without the use of some major glitches?
Yeah, there's this little room called Houlihan Room. So what we're gonna do is go up here. We're going to jump into the water a couple times. So what this is doing is scrolling the screen away from where it normally is. And the game determines where you end up in falling down an overworld hole right here, based on where the screen position is. And if it's in a messed up value, it defaults to this room, which has a whole bunch of money.
So I will get yelled at if I don't explain this correctly. It uses an instruction set that combines Link's X and Y coordinate directly. It indirectly uses one of the coordinates of the camera. It also uses the screen ID, and it performs an operation on those pieces of information. If it gets a result that is expected, you end up in the correct room. If you get a result that is unexpected, instead of crashing, they added in the Houlihan room as a intentional failsafe.
Yeah. So like we said, we're going to be needing a whole bunch of money. So this is a good time to explain, I guess, the prize packs of enemies. So different enemies are assigned a different prize pack in terms of what they drop. And for almost all of the prize packs, it's a 50% drop, but we can obviously manipulate RNG to always drop rupees. So we're going to be killing a lot of enemies that are in the rupee prize pack. And the drops that they give out are preset. So it starts with the blue rupee and then green and then blue and I think red after that. So we'll be using that to get money quickly. We also get that 100 just because it's another fast source of money.
I do see a lot of people asking about the length of this. I think traditionally with the low tabs, we try to hold off on revealing the final time, frame count, re-record count until the end. Just, to kind of keep up the mystery. But I guess it's up to you guys if you want to answer that or if you want to just tell people hold your horses.
It's longer than a normal NMG run. That's, I guess, what we can say.
Longer than a normal NMG run is a good answer.
Normal NMG run is a little under 90 minutes.
So a lot of this movement, a lot of what you're seeing here is what you would see in a traditional NMG playthrough. However, if you have ever played Link to the Past, you'll know that at some point, he is going to need to change items to complete the dungeon. And I guess it will be exciting to find out how he accomplishes that without pausing.
Here's a good example of how fast we can move with pumping compared to normal.
Yeah.
Nice little frame roll there.
Yeah.
It's mostly just a damage boost to get in there. So that you can skip or killing all the enemies.
Yeah. Well, we're picking up a whole bunch of arrows right now. We'll be using those later. And here we get the bow. And what we're going to do is take a death warp. So we take a death, we immediately save and continue, and right after, what we do is hard reset the console. So what happens when you reset the console is, and like start up your file again, is it equips the very first item in your menu, which the very first item in the menu at all is bow. So that's just a really quick way to equip bow for us, which we'll be needing for the rest of the dungeon. So now we're heading back towards Eastern Palace.
The stream is live. The commentary is pre-recorded, I think is how this goes, to whoever asked. Wait, that doesn't make... Wait.
The gameplay is pre-recorded, the commentary is live.
Are you sure?
And what is glitched? The gameplay or the commentary?
So making our way back to Eastern.
So with bow equipped, we're able to kill some enemies that we weren't before. There's a few enemies in this game that are only able to be damaged by bow. I think of those as just the red Igors and the red mimics, which will come into play later.
How many pauses are in the commentary? Well, I've got a 2-liter of Diet Coke to get through, so as many pauses as it takes me to drink that.
Do you have half of Diet Coke?
No, I don't have... I mean, I guess I can leave half a glass at the end, but that seems wasteful.
Okay, so now we're entering the back of Eastern. Here are the Igors we were talking about before. The green ones are able to be damaged by the sword, but it's faster to just kill it with one arrow.
I think it would take 4 sword slashes on the sword that we have right now, so...
Yeah, and we have plenty of arrows throughout the run that we have access to.
Well, I'm looking forward to see what Armos fight you chose.
It's not a typical one.
Shoutouts to Zelda Gamer 98. Perfectly normal execution of the 2 red Igors.
Of course, I can do this, as a human.
So
All right.
for this Amos fight, normally at the end of the last Amos actually goes red and resets hearts. But if you kill him quick enough, he actually won't do that, and we can just go ahead and kill him with 18 arrows altogether.
Shoutouts to Tampa, who I modeled that fight after. He's created a original NMG any percent run of this game in about, was it 2008, 2009?
Yeah, Tampa is pretty much the godfather of ALTTP TASing. Everything that anybody knows, all knowledge originated from him. So.
Okay, so after we complete the first dungeon, we can talk to this guy whose name is Sahasrahla? Anyone want to...
That's correct.
Sahasrahla.
Okay.
Sahasrahla. It's not hard to say.
So he ends up giving us boots, which is our probably the most useful tool in this entire run. So
Yeah.
it's a 30 frame charge, but after that we move 4 pixels per frame. So it's a very fast movement. And right here is what is known as spin speed. This glitch was discovered around, I think, 2013. So if you do a spin and then let go of the spin and press the dash button the very next frame, you enter a little glitch state. And when you exit a manual ladder like that, you maintain boot speed when moving without having to charge a dash every time.
Yeah. So with the category being called no major glitches, it's probably important to define what then is a minor glitch. You're going to see the 4 prominent minor glitches are spin speed, which you saw, one that you'll see called item dashing, which is using an item while dashing. There's one called fake flippers, and there is one called mirror blocker race. And there's also some other minor glitches that you will not see in the course of this run, such as Ancilla-based heart deletion, and which sounds pretty major, but it's not.
That's
And-
probably what the newest glitch to get discovered in Link to the Past is a whole bunch of Ancilla manipulation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fun thing is that fake flippers is actually an Ancilla glitch too, and we just never knew it.
Okay, so we just got book from the library, and next up is Desert Palace. But first, we're gonna take another detour.
Yeah.
Here we take damage. Just we're gonna be doing a death warp soon, and what we're about to do is called fake flippers. Does anyone want to explain that?
Okay, so when you jump into the water, there's a thing called an Ancilla. Ancilla are special events in the game, and the Splash Ancilla takes 8 frames, and at the end of those 8 frames, it looks to see if you have the boots. If you do, you can swim. If you don't, it kicks you out.
Or the flippers?
Green, flippers, right. We transition the screen before that 8-frame timer for the Ancilla wraps up, and the screen transition then the Ancilla is interrupted. It never does the flippers check, and that allows you to continue to swim.
And a little side effect of that is when we enter the subworld, we are swimming in land. So
Yeah, the reason for that is right before the cave entrance is some flat land that would usually get you out of the flipper state if you have actual flippers, but we don't have them, so it doesn't do that. Instead, we are swimming inside. Also, what we did there was switch our item.
yeah, so if you notice, the item equipped in our top left was changing in that process. What I'm gonna say is we may be seeing that screen a lot throughout this run.
Yeah, there are coming to mind. There are four main ways that you're going to see item changes happen. You've already seen 2 of them: resetting the console to get back to bow, using the ferry to throw items in, and there are a few others that you'll see later on, but no spoilers.
Yeah.
That's one of the main things to reduce the pause count in this game here. Also, F and chat.
Yeah. You'll be seeing a lot of the death screen as well. So we just bought flippers. That's the reason we were getting money so early. Since we'll be going to that screen so often, it's better to buy the flippers now instead of having to run down to the very south shore and do fake flippers over and over. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, now we're on the path to desert. Desert's pretty standard in terms of speedrun stuff, so there's not too much to explain here. But I don't know, if you want to throw in some facts as we go through it, you can, Scriba.
Yeah, I guess.
So this is the reason we need book to enter desert. We have to move that statue to get up here. With at least no major glitches.
Yeah, I guess one thing to mention that we haven't yet so far is in Escape we actually skipped one item in order to actually skip a lot of the changes in the ferry screen.
Oh yeah, for the stream, the pause count's still at 0, so death warps aren't going to be considered. It'll only be till a save and quit, which I'll point out to you.
Yeah, desert's pretty straightforward. There's without some of the major glitches, there's not really a whole lot you can do. You know, you have to run from one end to the other to get key, and then gloves.
Yeah.
So
it really is I guess a really good dungeon to show off like what you can do with the boots, I guess, in terms of how much faster they are. So I guess it makes sense why the dungeon's laid out like this in terms of like a game play or like a game development decision.
shoutouts to chest turns.
Oh yeah.
Current pause count is 0.
Yes. Here's another little spin speed.
Yeah, during NMG, you will usually see people pause there in order to equip the next item that they need. We don't pause because we have no item to equip right now.
Oh,
So if you've ever played this game and you're familiar, either casually or speedrun it or randomizer, you're familiar with Landmolas, and you know that the Landmolas fight can get out of hand pretty quick. And I would imagine that if you're trying to kill him with just a sword, because I don't think you're going to menu to another item.
all right. Here's pause number 1.
Just gonna.
So we equip lamp. There's no way around these torches, unfortunately.
Yeah, but you're not gonna menu to a weapon now. You're just gonna go in there with a sword and get like a 6 or 7 cycle, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just take a watch.
Also, a thing to note, all lighter bosses actually take the same amount of hit, no matter if you slash or spin them with the first sword. Also, really clean fight.
That was a 3 cycle, if anybody was counting.
So normally you use the bow for this fight because the bow takes 4 hits to kill each of the Lambos. With sword, it only it takes 8. So that was one of the most fun parts or fights to TAS. So here we're gonna touch some spiky things for another death warp.
Michael, I think you just said something about how spins and slashes do the same amount of damage to the Light World bosses. The exception to that is Armos, who actually takes half damage from spins.
Oh yeah, right.
If you try to go into Armos and you try spinning him, he will take twice as many hits. Why? Somebody was drunk.
I think Nintendo just was not good at math at that day.
Yeah.
There's actually a real reason for that involving something called damage classes, but
Yeah.
they're not really relevant to this TAS. So
No.
a damage is a damage. You can't say it's only a half. Thank
All
you.
right. So now we're heading up to Death Mountain. We talked to the old man to rescue him.
Yeah, the old
He will
man
come in handy later,
Yeah,
in terms of speed at least.
yeah. Right now he just slows us down. He, I think, halves our movement speed.
The estimate for this run is it will last the entire run.
I guess we can give them
No spoilers. I'll tell. We'll
already
see
said
this.
it's longer than a normal NMG run.
I will be in front of my TV in time for the Big Ten championship game later.
All right, we just got Mirror from the old man, which is a very useful item. Here we're gonna take another Death Warp. One little thing to mention is we took damage right before the cutscene, so normally you have invincibility afterwards, but that's just a little time saver.
And guess what we are doing now, chat? We said we are going to visit a certain room a lot of times.
Someone mentioned it. Yeah, so one thing they mentioned in the routing doc is I referred to this fairy in here as Link's girlfriend at the run. The reason is this is just because he visits her so many times, buys her all these nice gifts, but she just kind of, refuses the gifts and just gives them back. So it's like she doesn't care.
There's actually a good question in the chat. Why get the heart containers if you're just going to die all the time? So there is a way to complete this game with only 3 hearts. However, doing it would involve a lot more pauses. There are ancilla glitches that can be used to skip the collection of a heart container at the end of each boss, but it would dramatically increase the pause count.
Yeah, that's for sure. And that glitch is relatively new. It's what discovered in the past 16 or 6 months, right?
It didn't exist when you started this TAS.
Yes, for sure.
That glitch actually made me restart my latest task because I tasked low percent, suddenly less hearts.
Yeah. That's the sad part about tasking is someone finds a glitch and then you have to start all over again.
What is the last digit in the number of seconds on estimate? The last digit in the number of seconds on estimate is pizza.
All right, so someone asked when this was made. So I started this run in August of 2017, and I finished it a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah,
So
shout out to
here's-
quick warps. Let's real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you mirror or enter a warp on the overworld, mirroring in the dark world, entering a portal in the light world, if the camera is in a certain group of X coordinates, one every 8 pixels, there is a modulo math operation that happens during the mirror that does not complete correctly, and it actually cuts off the warp by 42 frames. And those quick warps, 42 frames, if you can get a quick warp on every single warp, it adds up to saving a lot of time over the run.
I thought it was 32. Is it 42?
Well, 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything, so we're going to go with that.
34, FSG says. Yeah, 34 makes more sense.
34, whatever.
So right now we are in one of the most boring rooms in the game.
Yeah.
So not much to do there. All
right.
Waiting.
Once again, pause number 2 for Lamp.
Oh,
Burn torches.
you've disappointed Tampa. You didn't do the tile room glitch.
Higher room glitch.
So if you are either Tampa or ACMLM and nobody else, there is a way to despawn the last tile in the tile room.
Huh.
And it saves some number of seconds, however long it would take for that last tile to fly and go. But
Sounds to Tampa for that
Only
needle room.
knew about this for the first one, but okay, nice one to know.
yeah,
So yeah,
just
Tampa's gonna tear apart this entire run. All right.
yeah, here's the hover. So time to explain our hover boots.
okay. I'm going to dispel a myth and then I'm going to explain it. The myth is that hovering is hard. Hovering is not hard. You can do it. Yes, you chat member. You, and you. You can all pick up your SNES controller today and you can hover. It is not difficult. Basically, you just kind of rub your fingers back. All right, that's a little bit much. You basically press the A button for up to 29 frames. Release it for 1 frame, press it again for up to 29 frames. The check for whether or not Link should be falling never happens, and if you do that while moving in a direction, you advance, pixels at a time, and you can just kind of cross right on over gaps. But it's required for a few categories, and it's also just kind of fun to do. So
It's definitely
release the
required for
button.
this category.
Yeah. Release the button for just 1 frame sounds difficult, but once you see somebody physically do it, and there are videos on YouTube and such, it's a lot easier.
Also, Khan gonna scream at us if we don't mention it. That's not a glitch because the game is actually coded to skip the forecheck if you are dashing for some reason.
All right, so we took another death warp and also reset the console to equip bow and to change some values that we'll talk about right now involving what are called rupee trees. So Michael, do you want to explain rupee trees?
Yeah, in the game there is a kill count that we reset by resetting the console, and if we kill exactly 4 or more enemies, we get 420 rupees out of 2 trees that are scattered all around Hyrule. The reason for that is Nintendo was nice and gave us a bunch of rupees in them. If we wouldn't have killed the 4 enemies, we would just get either 4 green rupees, 4 blue rupees, or nothing based on the kill count and if we got damaged or not.
Yeah, so we are not done with money. Well, now we are, but before that we weren't done with money. We still need 110 rupees for Kiki the monkey, which will come in later.
So if you only need 110 more, why do we have 111?
Adult 1, adult 1. Well, I suppose it's better than saying blind pedestal check. I'm used to speed running or speed gaming chat where it's all randomizer memes, and this is gonna be all Ocarina of Time memes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hover boots, Hessing.
Mhm.
So during this boring walk back to Aga's tower, one other thing that was found this year is we got arbitrary code execution in ALTTP as well, so don't feel special, Ocarina of Time. And actually, there is a bounty out right now. I have $20 to the first person that actually completes the 11-minute ACE credits run. We have a proof of concept video that shows exactly how to do it. The first person to submit an ACE credits warp run to the Link to the Past category extensions board and gets it verified. I got $20 for you. I want to see somebody do it.
So before we go to Aga's Towers, we're actually gonna do a little bit of detour to.
It's $11. It's $20. Don't go. It's 11 minutes.
So we're going to equip bombs now here. They will come in about 15 to 20 minutes, so keep an eye out for those.
Yeah.
Also, we kind of
Death.
yeah. So that happens. But and as far as bounties go, that's not the only bounty that will be announced this entire run, by the way. And the other bounty will be a little bit more money, so keep an eye out for that.
Oh wow, upstaging me. Dang. Get wrecked me.
I guess I will stop running Ace. I don't need that anymore. Stu, you got more money?
Fine, $21, since apparently that's the going rate in the chat.
All right, so now we're heading up to Aghanim's Tower. This is a very combat-based part of the run, so we don't really need any specific items, so there won't be any pauses here. Just spoiler alert.
No spoilers.
Yeah, rings doorbell.
Also, this is unoptimal, but I like hitting the door, so.
Yeah. I guess, chat, got some questions? We have a few minutes of not much to talk about.
Yeah, this is going to be normal gameplay, so hit us with those apps if you want to know things. How are you? I'm actually good. I spent all morning building a bunk bed. So I'm a little bit tired, a little bit worn out. Got some splinters.
Did you end up finishing that, by the way?
I finished the bed itself, but then there's a whole shelving and staircase unit that goes off on the side, and that was more pieces than the bed itself.
Shoutouts to Josh RTA for the dash strat there. He absolutely hates it, so I made sure to include it in this task. It is slower.
Bunk bed came from the internet. Favorite Link name is Link because I'm boring. Favorite food, pizza.
Is the bunk bed part of the TAS? No. Link has a single bed.
Yeah, he shares that with his uncle for reasons. Also, did someone ask about other tasks right now on the work? I guess I am working on a low percent or dungeon task.
Yeah, and that is a glitch category. It's restricted major glitches, which we'll cover that later.
Yeah.
We'll cover the distinctions between major glitches, restricted major glitches, no major glitches at some point.
Yeah, this is not the only part where we have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, unfortunately. Alright, so I guess I'll explain Aghanim. So we're about to fight Aghanim. He takes 6 hits to kill. So he shoots he has 3 attacks, a normal ball, a blue ball, and lightning. The first attack is always a normal ball, and normal ball is what we need to damage him. Then the next 3 are 50-50s between blue balls and normal ball, and then he does electric attack, and then it repeats. But we can just manipulate RNG to always get normal balls.
So someone in chat already guessed 15. I am hoping that is not true.
Yeah.
You're only getting 14, right? You were able to manipulate that far.
Yeah, if anyone's good at probability and you know that you're guaranteed 1 hit per cycle and 50% chance, you can calculate the odds of getting 15 blue balls, which is very, very, very low.
It is. I can tell you.
0.1%.
I know the answer. I, Scrivo, know the answer. 1 in 32,768. You know how I know that? Because it happened to me twice.
Yes, it did.
So yeah, this is, in terms of no major glitches, this is kind of the bane of all RTA runners' existence, is Aghanim. Because each blue ball wastes around, what, 7 seconds? Is it longer than that?
So every blue ball wastes 6 seconds. Blue balls 1, 3, 7, and 11 waste an additional. I'm sorry, 6 seconds. 1, 3, 7, and 11 waste an additional 6 seconds. Or is it just 3, 7, and 11? It's 4 minus 1. 3, 7, 11, 15.
11.
3, 7, 11, 15 waste an additional 6 seconds. Thank you.
Yeah, Asder says 3, 7, 11, and 15.
Yeah, and 15 is the maximum number of attempts you can get unless you mess up majorly.
Okay, so the first dungeon in the Dark World is Palace of Darkness, which we're heading to first. So
Yeah,
we get this little cool overworld section.
These commentators suck. When do we get LTTP old boys on the mic? I'm 35. How much older do you want? I have back pain. I have insomnia. I have 2 kids that don't listen to me. I'm old.
I'm not, though. I'm a Link to the Past Zoomer, so.
No, I'm a millennial. Don't call me a boomer.
Yeah, I'm also relatively young for a Link to the Past.
Also, I forgot to do the Kiki Dash skip. My bad.
Yeah. How much does it save? 2 seconds or something? Not much, really.
So that's what we need the 110 rupees for, is to pay off that stupid monkey to open the dungeon.
By the way, we have 4 rupees now.
Yeah. So Palace of Darkness is a little bit different than what you'd expect. Normally you'd have mirror here and you just mirror back, but we gotta go the long way.
Yeah, you could dash swap also, but I tested it and at 3 hearts, the dash swap saved almost nothing there.
Yeah. Yeah, so our typical key patterns are going to be a little bit different compared to what you'd expect in a normal RTA NMG run, just because we have access to hovering and yeah.
We have access to hovering and we have no access to the mirror, meaning that normal NMG would first jump down here to this key chest that's below here, hidden beyond the switch, and then mirror out. That would be slow because you would have to take the long way out.
Is hovering not pause bufferable? Hovering was originally thought to be only pause bufferable. The original hovering demonstrations were pause buffering. It's just, if you're going to do that, it's so slow. I mean, just learn to hover. It's not hard.
I disagree.
It's free real estate.
Also, more hover.
Oh yeah.
Just hover,
like
forehead.
If you like hovering, here's even more hovering.
Just hover, forehead.
All right, that's pause number 3 for the mirror. So
And we are not beating Palace of Darkness now.
So the Dark World as a whole is built into like 4 segments, I'd say. Death Mountain, Misery Mire, then there's like a right half and a left half. So to go from the right half, which we were, to the left half, what we would need equipped is either the hook shot or both the hammer and axe, and we would have to have the Titan's mitts, which we don't have access to. So we're gonna take the long way around.
What's pause count?
3. 3 pauses so far.
Yeah, the pause count on
Saved.
screen is actually accurate. And yeah, if you haven't noticed so far, we are coming back here to switch our item.
Yeah.
Because
By the way, Chad, this is the part where you ask where the eye tracker is.
I heard rumors that Scrivo tried to hover recently and couldn't do it. Listen, again, I'm old. My reflexes aren't what they used to be. I've got arthritis. I don't really have arthritis.
Hovering's a myth. That's at least my opinion.
Just
I
push
can't
the
do it.
button fast.
So yeah, here skipping a bit of time by just placing the bombs for one of the menus.
Yeah. Actually, a fun little tidbit there. So when I press A after the mashing through the text, it also picked up the bomb, so it moved it to where Link was. That's just something funny I noticed while doing this.
Yeah.
So here we equipped Hammer. We'll be using that a lot. Actually, only once, really, soon. Or for this next segment, at least.
Yeah, the priest is just gone. We never even saw him die.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
Who
we
came
use
and
it
collected
twice,
the
right?
body?
If you visit that part after completing all 3 dungeons, you'll notice that the priest is just laying on the floor and then disappears into the dark world.
Is the priest a Jedi?
Did you have to actually pick up the Master Sword for him to fall down?
Yeah. After the Master Sword cutscene.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Remember
but
correct.
But where's the body?
It went to the dark world.
You know, Ganon broke free and only wanted that one body.
By the way, that was the first example of an item dash with Hammer. That's probably the item you'll see the most with. It's only a lot of these glitches we've actually mentioned so far are only on Japanese 1.0 version, and that's one of them. So here we're gonna go into Skullwoods to get first the big key.
And you're gonna see some more hovering, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, you will.
Those mummies are awful, and they need to die.
Yeah,
There's a big debate on what is the quote-unquote worst room in the game. Some people think that room. I disagree, but here we get picked up by the Wall Master just to avoid going back through that room again.
Yeah, the candidates for
Uh-oh.
room are definitely
Run
one
dead.
of this one. Yeah.
Are there any Zelda runs where a later version is preferable to 1.0? I do not know the answer to that.
Ocarina of Time 1.2.
Pause the
Oh.
run real quick. We got errors on the stream side, looks like.
Stream
no.
is fine.
Stream is fine now? Okay.
No, it's still lagging for me.
Stream's good. It's fine.
Stream's fine. Okay, I'll reload.
All right. So we would need to use a menu to get into the back half of Skullwood. So we're just going to go ahead and peace out for now and do some other errands. By the way, shout outs to chest turns. If you press down on the same frame that you open a chest, Link will face away from the chest while opening it. In a TAS environment, that does save time. Doing it RTA is just for, I believe the kids say swag.
Real quick, what is your...
Safe with one friend.
What is everyone's timestamp on the YouTube video, just so I can get lined up again?
I've got about 44 minutes, and
I've got 43, 44, 45, 46, 47.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you. So now we've entered Thieves Town, which is the traditionally 4th dungeon in a normal playthrough.
Second dungeon we would visit in
A normal NMG run, yeah.
Yes, once you get the hammer, the game opens up a little bit more. In the light world, in the dark world, you at least have to visit Palace of Darkness first to get the hammer, if you're playing without glitches. But once you have the hammer, you can get to Thieves Town, Skullwoods, and Swamp straight away.
Yeah, something to note is we didn't even finish Palace of Darkness, the first dungeon we went to. We're also not going to finish this dungeon. There's going to be a lot of we'll be back moments in this run.
Chat, time to guess what's going to be the first dungeon we are finishing.
Meanwhile, we're going to go back here into the jail cell and pick up our blind date.
Well, we won't be picking up the date.
No.
We're just, yeah.
Oh no,
Oh.
you're not.
Yeah.
You're
kind of
leaving.
leave, we kind of leave her there to
Wow.
wait
Just
another
see her
hour or
key.
so.
Get wrecked, lady.
This is the reason we needed hammer to get to this chest, and we got pause number 4 here.
Link walks in. He's like, "You don't look anything like your Tinder profile," and just leaves.
Yeah.
Got catfished. So we equip mirror. We'll be using it later. Also just to get out of the dungeon faster. So it's faster to equip there.
Time for another item get. Right here is
Oh.
the shovel.
Apologies about the heart beeping. You may be hearing this for a bit.
No,
I-
don't worry.
I originally made this without, sound, so it didn't even cross my mind until a while through it.
The door is unlocked. She can leave on her own. That is
Yeah,
true.
she can leave. She can fight those enemies.
Nah.
I would also like to point out that this frog over here on the left could jump down on his own.
Yep.
He's a frog, and he does one thing well, and it's jump, and he just sits up there.
What if he would break his legs?
He's a frog!
Yeah,
Alright,
it's
so-
you have to jump over there if you play with glitches.
So we pick him up. This is actually the
course.
swordsmith in the Dark World, which we are saving now and bring him back to his brother? Twin? I don't know what you'd call them.
Life partner.
Clone.
But anyways, so we talk to them. They upgrade our sword.
Well, first let's
Nice.
get it. Gotta get it back first.
Yeah, we had to transition at least one screen before the sword is ready, quote unquote. So
Fun fact, they will temper thin air. If you rescue the smith without having any sword, they will just give you the tempered sword. There's another challenge run that one could do, which is max sword upgrades, where you can go from no sword to tempered sword to gold, no sword, tempered sword, gold sword, master sword, tempered sword, gold sword.
And then fight this word, tempered sword, gold sword.
does a fighter's sword disappear if you get tempered?
Oh yeah, fighter's in there somewhere as well.
Yeah.
You can go
Yeah,
back to
fight-
fighter sword.
So to be
Yeah.
tempered in between the other 4, I'm assuming. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no sword, of course. So here, this is the reason we equipped mirror before. A, to get to the light world, and also to get up to here. So this is pause number 5 for book. No way to read that without book equipped, and there's no way up there. No major glitches, at least, without mirror.
Yeah, and the reason we didn't do that before when we did Hera earlier, where we already had the book, we also need an upgraded sword to do it.
Yeah.
Fun
so we need
fact,
a master sword for that. or
those
at least master sword.
tablets, those tablets are Bombos tablets everywhere in the game, except for that one screen is coded so that if a tablet is on that screen, it gives ether. If the tablet were placed one screen to the right, like with hacking tools, it would give you Bombos. It's just that screen that gives you ether.
Yep.
Why?
Uh,
Video game.
Yeah.
Also, another thing about Ether, the castle and Aghanim Tower are both programmed to have the Ether medallion as their crystal pendant pickup.
Yeah, I actually found that out while messing around with DG once. I did not know that until I was just messing around. So we're visiting our lovely girlfriend again. Maybe she's into archery, who knows?
I
You're
think
throwing
those
things
are
on.
more
I'm
effective.
gonna get some more Diet Coke.
Yeah, I tried to make the fairy fountain process as entertaining as possible. Don't worry why we're giving her a bomb. That's not important.
She may be into trying out fireworks. We're coming somewhat close to New Year, I guess.
Bath bomb for her fountain. Go, leave. You, chat member, out.
Alright, so we equip Fire Rod, And we're heading into Ice Palace here.
The 5th Stark World dungeon.
Yeah.
So, a bit early. We don't have yet any crystals.
So this dungeon is very different in the speed run compared to what a casual run would be. Just because we do either bomb jumps or hovering to skip a very important segment of the entire run. We actually don't even get the big key. So we'll explain that as it comes up.
Yeah, this whole dungeon was designed as a puzzle that you have to make multiple passes through. But by just pressing the button fast or using a bomb jump, we can...
Also pause 6 for bombs here. No way to
Also,
either open up the floor or kill those Stalfos without bombs. So
we could kill the Starfos without bombs. Would
Yeah,
just take a lot of time.
You can kill them with the sword or with the boomerang.
really, how many
Yes.
hits?
It's a lot. I did it as a charity incentive, and it's a lot.
Yes, but you
Okay,
hurt them. You can hurt them with pretty much the throwing pots at them, or just spamming the boomerang.
Yeah, it's 64 hits each. It takes a
Also,
long
something to mention is when we use our last bomb, it actually progresses to the next item in the menu. It won't play a role here, but it is something to keep in mind as we go through this run.
Well, it did play a role because we already switched to Fire Rod because of that.
I don't think we need Fire Rod yet, do we?
You killing Cold Stare?
What do we
Well,
need
yeah.
before that, though?
Well, but it's saving us menu time.
Oh,
Yeah, it
yes,
is
you need the
saving us
hammer.
menu time. But yeah, unfortunately, there's pause 7 for hammer, and pause 8 back to Fire Rod. It's just one really unfortunate thing. This entire dungeon is just a pain to route in terms of low pause. We've been discussing low pause routes with the glitched categories, and even this one is proving difficult in those. So
Listen, I spent a good chunk of 2018 trying to make top left Cold Stare a thing, and nobody went for it. So I'm very happy to see top left Cold Stare. Does swinging your sword turn you around faster on ice? Swinging the sword or using the hammer both allow you to move on ice with a little bit more control. Done well. Done poorly, it doesn't help a gosh dang thing.
Yeah, then bet you still are flying all around and have no idea what's going on. You can also use boots startups to propel you forwards, but that can be just as uncontrollable.
So that was our first crystal gotten of the 7 in the Dark World, so we're making
Okay.
progress.
How
That
much
who
of a
gets
point,
ice as our first crystal?
how much of a point is there in a low pause run with 8 pauses? Well, if I had to guess, the point is all of these people here watching and enjoying. So if you're not in that group, I guess maybe there's no point for you.
Try telling Pan and Cook what a low A-press run is with 20 A-presses. I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with that one as well. Actually, I think they're down to 19. I'm not sure.
Also, yes, Chet pointed it out. We have another pause.
Oh yeah,
Mirror.
pause 9 happened for Mir.
Yeah, considering what's the menu count in a traditional NMG run? If there's anybody in chat that knows this, it would be FSG. But I'm guessing it's probably close to like 80.
Yeah,
90.
100 or 80.
80 to 100 would also be my guess.
Because think about how many we skipped so far. Just like running through your head.
Yeah,
It's not 69.
maybe.
What
How
if it is? Someone do some counting. No, I'd imagine it's more than that, actually.
FSG says close to 69, so we trust him.
Oh no.
Memes.
It really comes down to, are we including Moldorm hover and stuff like that?
Obviously, also hovers.
Yeah, that's true. What about Fire Rod hover?
So our girl also doesn't want coins.
Yeah, with no glitch restrictions, you can beat the game in 0 pauses. Right?
In 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not fun to watch. So, I mean, that video's on YouTube if you want to see it.
Yeah. Or you could go watch. Even ZFG has a run on his Switch. It does uses the save and quit route, but still.
The actual 0 pause route is actually really cool to watch, but you don't want to watch it all the time.
It's cool to watch if the person has controller cam. Hey, Shovel Dash, thank you for using Shovel Dash.
I tried. I did so many re-records to get that. It was really difficult to get the crowd to walk with me. So, since it didn't waste time, I had to make sure to get a Shovel Dash in there. So we equipped Shovel. We'll be using that to dig up some treasure.
Did you manipulate that fairy?
No, it just happened.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I noticed that because we'll be using more health, or we needed the health anyways, so.
Tampa is counting lost frame.
Oh,
I
no.
hope you brought your abacus and your TI-84.
You'll need some programs to count the number of pauses or frames that are lost in this entire run. Like there.
How many pauses are lost in this run?
How many pauses? Do we want to mention how many pauses are total?
Nope. No
Only how
spoilers.
many are lost.
How many are lost?
There are no lost pauses.
There are very many lost pauses. Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by lost. Or are they saved? I guess they're saved.
So at least one.
Yes. So here we save the bird. And we're going to flute to a spot. Just for no reason, pay attention to how we pick up this rock here.
So
Yeah, there's so much extra time there.
this is pretty complex that I'm going to start explaining it now.
Go ahead.
There is a variable that is, we call it the altitude variable, and a few different things use it. And one of them that uses it is the height of that duck on the screen. And that variable doesn't get cleaned up.
That's a pause 11, by the way.
He picked up that rock in a specific X coordinate to make the duck leave the screen at a specific Y coordinate to give an altitude variable for use later on. And that altitude variable is cleaned up by performing certain actions, but we are going to do other things to avoid those actions. So you'll
Pause
see
12
that.
for Fire Rod here. It's not required immediately, but it's very convenient for that room, and we'll be using it later.
So remember that duck leaving the screen at a specific height. We will be reviewing that again in about 2 minutes and 10 seconds, maybe less.
Yes. So just
It's
keep
on the
in mind what he just explained there.
What you need to know is the duck sets the variable, which is basically ALTTP speedrunning in 2019.
Yeah. This glitch was discovered a year and a half ago, about.
Oh gosh, that was 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
Wow.
I
But it's a very cool glitch, and it's probably the biggest time saver since spin speed in the No Major Glitches run, right?
yeah, it is a 12-second time save, which in a category like this, the ALTTP NMG run is super optimized.
Very much
A
so.
12-second time save drop into your lap is ridiculous, but we got it.
Also, completely don't worry that we fired through non-moving blocks there.
Yeah, so when
nothing
blocks are
special.
moving, they don't have any collision. So
And that fire red through the top rail on the right side. Shoutouts to Super Scudge, who's been pushing that strat for a long time too. So now, next up is picking up one of the most versatile items in the game if you're going to play a glitched category.
oh yeah.
Samaria basically breaks the game wide open and does lots of fun things. In this category, it just places blocks. But remember the duck? Because we're about to talk about the duck again. But first, just press the button fast.
Here's a little hover to save time. Not required, but
Okay, so watch when he places this block down on the ground. We talked about ancilla slots earlier. He's going to kick up dust, which is going to occupy an ancilla slot while placing the block down. That pushes the block to the next ancilla slot, leaving the altitude variable that we stored earlier with the duck in an intended ancilla slot. That altitude variable is going to go with the fire rod here. That fire rod shot has area of effect tied to that altitude value, which allowed it to hit a switch that was a screen higher. We're going to do it again here, hit a switch in the next room. He's going to fire out a torch here and hit another switch that's a few tiles up. That is spooky action glitch.
yes.
That is all on the test.
Also, that was pause 13 and 14 for the cane and then the fire rod again.
It's not a major glitch. So you don't need to know any of that technical stuff to do it. It's really easy to execute, which is why it was so ridiculous when we found it. Was like, wait, we just do this and we save 12 seconds? Okay.
Yeah. Also, some fun fact about this. Before we found that in Ice Palace, there's actually a freezer that if you fire rod it with any altitude value that's non-zero, you have to hit him straight up. But since we found it, we are able to just reset that.
Also, a message for Tompa. I timed this entire Misery Mire compared to his 2008 TAS, and this is about a half a second faster. So
Wow,
take
get
that.
wrecked, Tompa. Yeah, that's
All
what
thanks to
happens when you
Spooky.
find 12 seconds lying around.
I just had to mention that. Don't judge me too hard, Tompa. I'm sorry. Alright, so here, take another Death Warp. We'll be doing another hard reset to equip Bow.
We only equip the bow to save on a few stuff, right?
I was young and dumb. How come you didn't find that, Tompa?
Yeah, just find glitches, dude.
Just
Come on.
find him. Just find the glitch, Forehead.
Try harder. So, this is the first we'll be back moment. We're heading back to Palace of Darkness.
Oh yeah, we haven't finished this, right?
Yes, so there's some enemies in the back of Palace of Darkness before the boss that require the bow to kill. Well, we'll get into that. So, but as for now, just pretend like they need the bow to kill him.
By the way, that spooky glitch thing was actually found on accident by a randomizer player who missed a fire rod shot, fire rodded the bottom wall instead of cold stare, but it still hit. And he basically took a video, dropped it in the speedrunning Discord, and was like, hey, I sucked, but on accident was good. How did this happen? And that's how we found the glitch.
Also, again, hovering into the rails there, which is one of the hardest hovers in the game.
It actually was a she. Okay, thanks, Glenn. Did not know that.
So yeah, randomizer people are cool for sometimes, you know.
Didn't randomizer also find fake powder?
I don't think they found
No. Whoever discovered, I forget his username, but whoever discovered the spin setup for bomb jumps. I forget who it was though. But he's not active anymore.
It was like XCV.
Yeah, it's something weird letter.
Yes, XSCVO.
So this is the reason we need the bow, at least one of the reasons, to kill that red mimic. Also to shoot the statue.
Pay attention, we did not lose the beams. In 90% of cases, we don't want the beams. And this is one of the cases we really want the beams.
Yes, so we picked up 3 hearts to get beams back. which is very convenient. Also, pause 15 for hammer. We need hammer to get through here, and we need beams to hit that switch. There's no other way to hit that switch, at least to get onto the other side of the pegs. So without beams, we would have had to have an extra pause or something, or an extra 2 pauses even.
Yeah, the beaters only are beatable with the hammer, and afterwards the boss of this dungeon also would either require the hammer or bombs to beat.
Yeah, you can actually blow up the mask, but that's... Actually, Tompa does use bombs in his TAS, but here, obviously, we don't want to pause, so we just use hammer.
I think Hando is the only RTA category that actually bombs hammer because it's faster there. Maybe hammer RTA as well.
So yeah, that's the 3rd crystal that we've gotten. Someone mentioned in chat that they thought it was supposed to be bombs in the first playthrough. I think we talked about that in the Discord at some point, about how a lot of people actually thought you're supposed to use the bombs.
You get the hammer in the dungeon. Of course you use that item in the boss.
That is literally the first thought.
Don't worry about the crystal catches, Real Killy. I was not aware of them for a while.
Why, you could drive a semi-truck through there. So where you stand when you catch the crystal, you want to stand, the shadow of the crystal should make a beard on Link's sprite. And when you do that, the crystal has to rise less to get into the cutscene. That was actually also found, I think, pretty recently, 2017.
Yeah.
It's just a little frame saver that you can do.
Yeah.
So another death warp. So we have both crystals 5 and 6 from Ice Palace and Misery Mire, which are required to access a little thing called the Big Bomb, at least from the bomb shop. So that's where we're heading next. I'm not going to spoil what's inside that if you've never played A Link to the Past, but...
Item dash.
Oh yeah, nice little item dash. So item dashing, you just press the dash button and the item button in the same frame. You do a little cool thing.
Just press
Very
the
cool.
buttons.
Yeah, Japanese 1.0 only, unfortunately. Because I think it's one of the coolest glitches in like all of games, just to be able to do that. I wish you could do it on like English or something.
Yeah, and here we take a damage boost to get slightly detached from where the bomb is, which allows us to start a dash without losing the bomb. Normally, the bomb would go loose from us when we press A, which we also press to start a dash. So,
Yeah.
useful.
Yeah. So here's pressing A to place the bomb. So that's why we weren't dashing without taking damage before.
Now, we're not here to get a gold sword. We're here because the first fairy wouldn't accept Link's presence.
Yeah,
So
so
he's
we're
gonna
trying
try-
this
yeah.
one.
We're getting a new girlfriend.
Oh.
And she thick.
Maybe we should call her the mother-in-law of this run? Because otherwise we'd be cheating, right? You know, that's not okay.
Colonel, I'm trying to throw things in the fairy fountain, but the clack can't get through.
Jeez. So yeah, now we have access to this fountain. We're going to be going here a lot as well. Also, keep track of the pause count. This is just quick spoilers. It might not be increasing for quite some time.
Keeps alerting Ganon. Grr.
Sorry
think
for the
she
beeping, by
sucks.
the way. Also, sorry for drawing attention to the beeping that you are now aware of. At least it doesn't play during the cutscene.
It is now my headcanon that Link has David Hayter's voice. So that's...
Alright. So now to the next dungeon. One we haven't visited, but we gotta take quite some detour. So we just left the Dark World, but we're going right back into the Dark World.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Like I was saying, the Dark World split up into 3 parts, or 4 parts. The right side, if we're on the right side, we can't get to the left side without hammer or hookshot equips.
Technically, it's 5 parts. Just the first one is straight up reachable from here.
Yeah. So, we left the Dark World, we equipped Mir, we entered the Dark World again. We still have Mir equipped, but we had to do that entire process to get to this left part of the Dark World.
Yeah, the South Dark World is pretty unwieldy to reach if you don't have access to the hammer.
So here,
Quick warp.
we go to the Light World. Also quick warp,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think I missed a single quick warp, so at least I won't get roasted for that.
You did have a 4-character file name though.
Yeah, but, you know. I'm very thankful I didn't choose like a file name of the pause count, because when I started this run and when I finished this run, the pause count changed multiple times. So it would have been looked really weird to have like the file name 24p or something.
It could be like my no EG TAS where Link just goes from 5 hearts to 4 hearts.
So we are back to our old
Oh,
girlfriend. The new one didn't wanted everything.
Yes, spoilers, the pause count is less than 24, I guess. There's a little tip for you.
But you could have lied.
I could have lied, yeah. I could have just made up a number. Yeah, I'm a bit mad at her, so I'm just tossing bombs.
We also throw some fire into the pond. I don't think that is very effective.
I mean, we tossed a lamp into the water and it still works, so who knows?
It's a magic lamp.
Yeah, it's true. It does use your magic.
So yeah, I think we can say that we are getting the pause menu pretty full right now. We are throwing stuff in for quite a long time.
Now, is this run quite as good as however many Zelda's Lullaby cutscenes? Who knows, but you do get a lot of fairy cutscenes at least.
Was
I
it
forgot how
five?
many are in
I
100% free
think,
pause.
I think it was 5.
Is it 5? If you haven't already, go watch both Majora's Mask 2 pause and Ocarina of Time 100% 3 pause. All the pause challenges that you can find. They're really cool and were a main inspiration for this run. So
So we know the pause count is 15 so far, but what is the death count? Who counted that?
it is shown off in the credits, at least the total number of games played, which includes hard resets too. But
Well, it will only save it when you save. So either die or save and quit.
so we came back here with hammer.
Was it quicker to not do the mirror block erase?
With what mirror?
Oh, you don't have the mirror end. Right, hey.
Well, we could have done the mirror block erase, but we would have done to redo it.
So yeah, the reason we left the portal here before was because we needed to both drain the water and not leave the screen and then enter the Dark World and come back here to have the water be in this dungeon right here, or right in that last screen.
You ever just ask a dumb question?
No.
I do.
No, I've never done that.
So yeah, Swamp Palace. Another pretty long section of the game where we don't do much.
Very long section. We'll go through the first half with commentary, but as I said, there will be a lot of we'll be back moments. So during that time, we're going to talk about some other related topics. But for now, we just are going through this part of the dungeon with Hammer.
That would be a good time for more questions from
Yes.
the chat.
Very much so.
When he went to the ferry, was it? Yeah, whenever you throw an item in, it automatically selects the next item, so you can just keep throwing items in to move. Opinions on temporary secretary. You asked that earlier, and now I can tell you I've never heard the song, at least not
I heard it
intentionally.
a couple nights ago. Don't worry about it. One thing to mention about the fairy fountain, about tossing items in, there is one exception to tossing items in and it not changing what item you have equipped. We'll get to that later in the run. It does play a part, so.
Why is low pause count such a big deal? Because people like it.
It's cool. There's so many
It's
things that you
exciting.
get to show off in runs that otherwise you wouldn't, so.
When was my first ALTTP speedrun? December 2015. I was watching some YouTube at work. Me and a coworker came home and did a race and NMG in 3 hours and 27 minutes with a bathroom break and a live split pause.
It's a big deal for the same reason that a low A press SM64 is a big deal. What Caden said is, you can do a lot of
Yeah.
cool stuff. I mean,
What am
So, when are we doing low Y press?
I don't want to not dash around everywhere. I'm sorry.
To be
You added
honest-
me. Of course I noticed you. It highlights it.
To be honest, non-dash movement is actually fun in this game if you are tossing. If you're not, it's not necessarily as fun.
So we got the big key, and here we're gonna get the hook shot,
And then
we
we
kill
die.
ourselves.
Back.
We'll be back. So, what you saw between the transition from the pyramid fairy, the fat fairy, to this area, what you're here right now, we left the portal, we went up to the waterfall fairy. We're doing all that again, so we still have a lot of time for questions.
Yes, this time we just take a different girlfriend
Yeah,
at first.
lots of bouncing back between the two ladies.
Yeah, we can't decide.
It's like Queen once sang, fat bottom girls, they make the inventory go round. I think that's the lyrics.
So yeah, chat, questions?
Or just spam lol. That's fine too.
Oh, one thing to mention is what the. I just saw what Tompa said. Yeah, we passed the time of the original TAS, so we lost, unfortunately. This TAS is invalid. Stop the stream now.
Yeah.
Am I a hopper? I'm sorry, I don't know memes.
But I guess. So what these waterfall fairies are originally for? So the one in the waterfall, there's two items that you can toss in that end up upgrading. So you can toss in your boomerang, which becomes a magical boomerang. Well, we don't have the boomerang right now, but if we toss in the boomerang, it'd turn into the magical boomerang. And if we toss in the shield, it'd turn into the red shield. Whereas this fairy fountain, if we toss in our tempered sword, we get gold sword. And if we toss in the bow, we get silver arrows. So for the sword, the gold sword is a little bit strange compared to what like most sword upgrades do in Zelda games. So a spin attack of the tempered sword does the same damage as a slash of a gold sword.
Should we
Not
explain damage
totally.
classes?
Yeah, yeah. Go. You're probably more qualified to talk about this.
So items don't do a value of damage. They have a damage class. Fighter sword, for instance, a fighter sword slash is damage class 1. A fighter sword spin is damage class 2. A master slash is damage class 2. A master spin is damage 3. Tempered slash is damage 3. Tempered spin is damage 4. But for gold sword, both a slash and a spin are in the same damage class.
Yeah.
They don't. There's no damage class 5 as far as sword attacks go. There are other damage
Well, there
classes.
is.
For
There
example,
is a damage class 5. And 2 enemies actually use that.
I explained that wrong. Yes, there is a damage class 5, but most enemies are coded to take the same damage from 4 and 5, except for the bomb throwing Hinox and one other enemy.
Green Igos, I believe.
Right.
Is the damage class 5 affected by gold spins for that at all?
Gold spins
that's
are
this.
damage class 5. It's just most things are coded to take the same damage from damage class 4 and 5. Other damage classes are like the boomerang is like damage class 255 or something like that.
Boomerang is class 0.
0, yeah.
0. Other way
Bow
around.
would be 6, hookshot 7, bombs 8, silver arrows 9, powder 10, fire rod 11, ice rod 12, and 13 to 15 are the medallions.
So, fun fact about the boomerang damage class is the Armos Knights, the very first bot we fought, actually takes, 1 damage each from each boomerang throw? So you could kill that with only boomerang, but it would take a whole bunch of hits, since there's 6 of them.
Why don't you
And-
ask Trio about that?
Yeah, Scrivo, you wanna...
I'm sorry, I was answering something in the chat. Ask me about what now?
Boomerang
killing Armos, yeah. Ice
Oh,
or
killing
Armos
Armos
Knights.
with the boomerang. Yes, I've done that too. It is 48 boomerangs per Armos. It takes a really long time because the moment you get the last Armos down to red, he goes back to needing another 48. Yep, did that twice for a charity incentive too.
Yeah, just quick kill him.
Well, why didn't you just get the last one down to 1 damage and hit them both at the same time, dude?
I was too busy laughing.
Come on, I did it in my run with the arrows. You can do it in your run.
It's a TAS.
So what you're saying is I'm just better than you. I mean,
If you frame advance, yes, but you want to race?
uh...
Come at me, bro.
Alright, so now we're back with hookshot.
Oh, yeah.
Champa likes the hook clip.
We did all of that only to skip equipping the hookshot inside here. And we are now back with hookshot. Done with hookshot.
Yeah. This is the worst part of the run to do, just because I'm doing the exact same thing over and over and over, but it had to be done.
Also, we are almost at new content.
Also, ignore me not hooking the pot from that platform right there.
Okay.
I was going to until you brought it up, but why'd you hook the pot? Why'd you not hook the pot?
Because someone in chat would mention it.
You also didn't item dash the, but I guess you just can mash A. You're supposed to item dash that bottom left skull if you're
Yeah.
playing.
Item dash would still be faster because you save at least 1 frame.
Interesting.
Is the pause count the current pause count? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the pause count is completely accurate and it wasn't changed for quite a long time.
Yeah. So the reason we needed hookshot for this back part is for, well, several reasons. A, we need to hook one of the pots to get back there. You can't hover over those type of gaps. Gaps that you do a leap animation over, except for one exception, which we'll cover later. And then,
Don't spoil it.
yeah. But also for this boss.
So these are all item dashes while holding the sword out, and it basically allows you to quickly kill all of those puffs without having Argus go into a spin cycle. It's called a 0 cycle.
Well, only the first one actually has to be a hook dash.
Right.
The other ones you just need to time really well. Also, really nice hook shot at the end.
It's everybody learning that trick, trying to
Yeah.
do item dashes for every single one. Why is
Yeah.
this not working?
Yeah.
Also, for
Also-
the second phase, there is a way to kill it. We killed it in 2 cycles there. There is a way to kill it with only 1 cycle, but it requires either equipping Fire Rod, Bow, or Ice Rod. I don't think there's any other item that works, but... And obviously with Hookshot
sounds good.
equipped, we cannot do so.
The estimated time is before it's gonna finish before the Ocarina of Time 3D test starts.
He's playing this live. We don't know, right?
Could mess up soon.
He could accidentally press start in the wrong place. We could have to start over. There's just so many unknowns, variables.
All right, so that's dungeon number 4 done, at least in the Dark World. So 3 crystals to go.
Now we're just gonna die on this hentai, and
Yeah. Someone in chat just brought up RBA items, and while we don't have actually RBA, we do have a lot of other bottle-based glitches.
Yeah.
We extremely recently actually found out how to manipulate save data, which is like totally crazy.
Yeah, while we don't have reverse bottle adventure, we do have something called Yuzuhara's bottle adventure. So YBA instead of RBA. Also, ours are cooler.
yeah, Yuzuhara is another famous tasser of this game. Basically, all good and perfect gifts we have come through either Tampa or Yuzuhara. They have found so many things.
You may have heard about Yuzuhara earlier in the TAS already, as we talked about a different TAS.
Yeah. Yuzuhara is really amazing in the terms of what they can find, like with glitches and the tasks that they do. They're just a really talented tasser.
Also, we should mention some of the other folks that have helped out. Poor little Pinkus gave us the practice hack. So if you want to learn this game, he developed the practice hack. He's since turned over the maintenance of it to Can. So easy way to learn this game.
Yeah, it's really helpful for learning.
Got a lot of people that have been producing resources, tutorials for all of the different categories. If you want to learn a speed game and you want to do as little work as possible, Link to the Past is a good way to do that, because we've already done all the work for you. You just have to push the buttons, forehead.
Yeah, shout out to all the routers that done extremely weird, stupid routes for this game to beat this game in extremely weird ways. Like Lopos.
So in terms of what we're equipping now, we'll be equipping bombs, but first we need to get to the light world, so we need to equip mirror before that.
So yeah, anyone want some Zelda cutscenes instead?
If you do have interest in learning this game and you're wondering where to start, if you want to just kind of, if you're not really familiar with, if you've never speedrun another game before, a good place to start with this game is Master Sword. It's a short category. It teaches you the movement. If you are a pretty established, you've done a lot of speedrunning before of other 2D games, you might want to start with a category like NMG, or if you want to get into glitches, All Dungeons Restricted Major Glitches is a great introduction to glitches in this game. Definitely recommend learning one of those categories, and then go where your heart would take you. You can go as far down the glitch rabbit hole as you want with like 100% major glitches and just destroy the game, or you can stay in NMG land and live a boring, unfulfilled existence.
Yeah. NMG definitely is the most popular category in terms of numbers, but a lot of our active runners are into All Dungeons. RMG is probably one of the most popular right now, right?
Yeah.
All Dungeons RMG is popular. Any percent RMG is also popular-ish. It just the most common route requires hovering, and it also requires you playing all of endgame with only 4 or 5 hearts and almost no items.
And the uncommon routes that are requiring you to actually go down to 1 heart, break a potion, and go back to 1 heart.
Yeah, but nobody's completed a run of those with that route, so.
Yeah.
A route is just theory until somebody actually completes a run. I will die on this hill.
Yeah. And
All right.
also, if you just want to play the game and don't really want to necessarily do an energy or vanilla speedrun, there is the randomizer. I know most speedrunners are kind of looking down on it for it being not a speedrun, but it's still cool. It's still a place to just play the game.
FSG, you can't call me a boomer. You guys didn't have a baby boom in Europe. That means nothing to you. You're just following the crowd.
So before we go to the next dungeon, over here we needed bombs to get this item right here, which is Ice Rod Cave, and it contains Ice Rod, which we need for later.
Yeah, it's just right now a convenient place to get.
So a lot of the run, because we're tossing so many different items into these fairy fountains, we didn't grab a lot of the items as early as possible just because it would take extra long just to throw them over and over and over, which is why we didn't grab the boomerang, because it would require an extra 5 minutes of just tossing the boomerang in over and over and over. Are you okay?
No, I'm really not okay.
Okay, we lost Trevo.
All right, so we're back with bombs. We're heading back to Thieves Town, which was the dungeons we got the Titan's Mitts from.
Yeah, we have all one bomb. I'm sure that's going to be used.
Crying.
I don't know what you're laughing at. Someone in chat?
FSG.
So yeah, a whole bunch of rinse and repeat from what we did before. Same movement. This time with bombs though.
Also, I like that kill there.
I'm back.
Okay, so we're here. This time we get the key and we actually go up this door. So the reason we need bombs was to blow up this floor over here to let light in. What the light is for? Well,
Creatures of the dark don't like light, I guess.
yeah.
My question is, where is that light coming from? Because we're in the dark world.
It comes from the hut that's where Blindset is in the light world.
Or what about when you're standing on top of the pyramid? You can still see a sun there.
Why is there a sun in the dark world? That doesn't make sense.
It's a dark sun.
The dark... What is this, Soundgarden?
Okay, so this time we're actually talking to the lady.
Yeah,
know.
the fairies aren't too kind.
After the other two, girls were like, maybe this is our best shot.
So, Chad, would you swipe right or left?
All right, so this is blind. Even in RTA runs, runners got this fight down to a script, basically.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
runner named Cypher, who you probably would have seen also run Mega Man games and basically a whole lot of stuff. Found that if you perform this same set of movement, RTA, which is pretty easy to do, pretty easy to learn, blind will do the same thing every time, and you can get all 9 hits required in, and it's makes the fight really trivial.
Yeah, that fight as a casual fight, if you can't remember, is a nightmare.
It's basically a 2 game within Zelda.
Yes, this is the new Mario Maker patch. Doesn't it look good?
Yeah, it's a few more bits than in the announcement, but it works.
Also, we did use our last bomb in that dungeon. Like we mentioned before, it auto-equips Fire Rod, which we'll be using next, so a little time saver there.
Time save, yay!
Spin speed.
A very nice one at that. Lots of diagonals that we get to do. So now we're back in Skullwoods with Fire Rod in hand. So we're ready to go to the back of it. Also, I love this music. I see a lot of sour pleases in chat. Okay, so that's the reason we needed Fire Rod, was to get into this back part of the run, or the dungeon. Little hover here to save time. Shoutouts to Tompa for that room. Only this time improved because we get item dashing. So take that.
I'm curious to see this room.
I shouldn't have mentioned that. It's not double frame perfect. It is very much so good enough.
Yeah, I think we should mention for this fight that casually that Moss is horrible, and if you are not good in a speedrun, that fight is horrible.
So we talked about damage classes earlier. The gold sword slash is damage class 5? 4. 4. Moth doesn't take damage from damage class 4. 0 damage. Doesn't take damage from damage class 5 either. So the gold sword, the only way to damage Moth with the gold sword is by poking, which does 1 damage class less, which makes her a really obnoxious fight. So that's a big reason why the gold sword is left behind.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
even though we're at the fairy fountain, the entire process of getting the gold sword takes around 40 some seconds, which getting the gold sword does not save that amount of time, so we skip it. Another death to these guys. I don't even know what their proper name is.
Hentai.
Huh.
I know
Also,
the
we got
lag-
a 5 rupee there. I realized, so there's this little thing called rupee lag in this. If you have higher digits in your second and third rupees digit, it actually increases the amount of lag in some cases. So getting back to 200 saves a tiny bit of time. I'm
It
assuming, at
actually
least.
does math every frame drawn to figure out what the rupee counter needs to be, and having a high number in the hundreds or tens place for whatever reason just causes more lag frames.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we should have wasted or turned all the rupees.
Oh yeah, I see people wondering about a death counter for this. It'll be shown off at the very end of the credits if we wait that long. So.
Yeah.
It is hard
What-
to convert to base 10. That's correct. Just show the rupee counts in hex. Kids will understand.
I got FFF rupees. I'm rich.
Press F in chat for 15.
Oh no.
Oh. Chat, we are not dead yet. Yet.
No, they're just saying 15 over and over.
For the pause count, of course.
Is the pause count 15?
Right now, yes.
Oh wow, look at me. I'm following along.
Oh, Twitch already died again. No. It's still working if you reload the.
Mine's still good. Yeah. I had fun spamming flute dashes and book noises, by the way.
Well, I learned from Andy that spamming the book saves frames.
It's not, it only applies to the flute.
So the past, I guess, 30 minutes or 40 minutes of the run have been relatively glitchless. But coming up soon, we're gonna see a lot more creative glitches. A lot more on the line of the spooky mire that you saw before.
But still minor.
Yeah, still minor,
Yes.
of course.
So right now, we
Yeah,
do
right
have
now-
the mirror. We do want another item first.
Yeah. Shoutouts to the lottery.
Every NMG runner hates it.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah,
if you
Screeva,
want
you want to
to-
explain that room?
The lottery.
Lottery.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I just dash, and if I get hit, I throw my controller.
Also, Catfish, you can throw that block right outside of the circle and still activate the cutscene for getting the quake.
Just a couple pixels that will save time. And conveniently, when we convert to the light world, we're right by the waterfowl. So,
More item switching,
yep.
and yeah.
That's what item dashing looks like with the bow, by the way.
Yeah, you shoot the arrow on the frame you stop the dash. With a few other items, you activate the item when you start the dash, like the fire rod.
So now we got hookshot equipped, which now we're gonna head up to Death Mountain again, but to do that, we're gonna kill ourselves again.
Oh no, we dead.
Death number, who knows?
Chat, if you counted, display the death number in hex.
I see a lot of Fs.
I trust chat, right?
It must be 15.
Yeah, it has to be 15. So we need hookshot to get over here to east side of Death Mountain. Well, as far as we know right now, but
Well, we could also take the other route that requires mirror and then change it
Hammer?
over to
Yeah.
hammer.
that obviously takes an extra pause compared to just equipping hookshot.
Well, you do need to pause to get the hammer anyway.
Oh
So-
yes, that's a good point. Yeah, but
For
this route's
one,
faster.
it doesn't matter, but yeah, it's faster to
Yeah.
go this way. So yeah. Also,
There's pod
hook
16.
speed.
Oh yeah, hook speed. We should explain that. So
Uh,
item
basically
dashing
sprint
with
speed without spin. Just instead do hook dash.
yeah, there's 17 as well for the quake.
And we run away and die.
Ha. I see Tompa saying 18's coming. Not yet. You'll see. So we opened up Turtle Rock, but we're not ready yet.
Yeah, Link kinda fears the dungeon. It's dungeon 7. It must be one of the harder ones.
Yeah. Yes, Tompa is very confused at what we're doing. You'll see. It's probably not what you're gonna be expected. Keep in mind,
How long are you going to be throwing items in the pond right now?
let's see here. For a
Just
while.
moment.
Okay, I'm going
Yeah.
to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, see ya.
Good bathroom break.
Around 90% of the run is giving fairy items from just me estimating it.
Yeah, so to quote Cavs Telek, this would be a good time to call your mom.
And if you're done with calling your mom, call your dad as well.
Yes.
And your brother and sister and other family
Friends,
members that
family.
you never are. Yeah, call the dogs. That's important.
I hope those beeping is a little bit of ASMR for you. I went to the right side of the room to the left side of the room to get, you know, both ears in, so. Also, a fun little thing I was messing around with was just bonking the block in here.
Yeah, we're not gonna see the Kane of Mario again, right?
Yeah.
Bye, Kane.
Bye, Kane.
And we got the mirror.
Now, if you've played A Link to the Past casually, you might be wondering, no Kane, how on earth are we gonna do Turtle Rock?
We can fly.
Yes. We'll cover that soon.
All right, I'm back.
Alright,
It does time. We just equipped the mirror.
and now we're heading to the portal again.
Hi, back. I'm Dad. Thank you.
First of the bottles. And that.
Alright, so here, we pick up a bottle, and
Useless.
also we're gonna talk to the sick kid up here who gives us a bug net. Now, these items are completely skipped in the normal energy run, just because all the
Yeah.
net does is let you pick up a fairy.
Well, it lets you also pick up a bee or a golden bee.
True, yeah, bees as well.
You're not
You can sell
stealing,
them.
lending you it.
Yeah, lending us the.
Yeah,
We stole a net from a sick kid, stuck in bed.
yeah. I think the law is that you bring him medicine or something in that bottle, but no, that bottle is empty.
Oh dear.
He actually won't give you the net unless you have a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we did the bottle first. Not that it really matters, but
You need
So
boost
now-
anyway.
surprise, surprise, we're gonna go equip the bug net from our wonderful fairy
fairy.
fountain.
Yeah.
So this is about where I got to watch up to for commentary prep. So everything
Okay.
after this is a mystery to me.
Oh, really?
I'm seeing it for the first time too, chat.
So we
Prevo
get some
preparing
genuine
so much.
reactions.
I only prepared myself up to Maya.
I have no idea what's happening, you know.
Yeah. You only
I have no
routed
idea
and
what's going on.
created the task.
I have no idea what's going on. You want
I
to
just
get
kind of ran some random code, and it just happened to be the lowest number of pauses, so I got lucky or something.
Yeah, you just set some AI to give out random button presses for an hour.
This run is already uploaded to YouTube. We're streaming
Yes.
it from YouTube. It's just an unlisted video. So I'm sure it will be listed after this
Yeah.
hot debut.
It'll probably be uploaded with this commentary as well.
Yeah. And then it will be linked to from both sides. So we are at Ice Rod. We
Yes.
don't need it yet.
Nope. Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
There they are.
Hi, Justin.tv.
We don't talk about that.
Hi, Ustream. Hi, Vimeo.
Ever.me.
Hi, GeoCities. That's a boomer website. Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Ah, freaking kids. Wow.
Hi, my
Us.
video.
So we're almost a bug net.
Yeah, we kind of have a few items by now.
I don't think I counted the number of individual tosses in this entire run, but I did count for a certain segment to test a couple routes in terms of the middle dungeon routing. and that was well over 100. So there's a lot.
You should have had an item throw into pod counter on screen, but I don't think she would have liked us then.
No.
Hello, Nico video, but only in 30-minute chunks.
Well, YouTube used to do chunks for a while as well.
It wasn't YouTube at the beginning like 50-minute chunks.
Yeah,
Until
15.
then they allowed
10-minute.
you to register in a certain way to get 1 hour, and now you can register in that way for 10
Right.
hours, I think.
Oh,
got
more
bug
gameplay.
net.
There's gameplay.
Yeah, gameplay is run into crap.
It's fun stuff. So now that we
Game
have
over.
BugNet, you might want to get your half pause counters ready. So we do a little item dash, catch a fairy, and immediately press select to save and quit. So that's pause 0.5 or 17.5. So that's a select menu. The reason we did this was in distinguish between select and start pauses, because it ends up saving a start pause but requires a select pause. But how we avoid the start pause is much more interesting. So that's why I routed it in this run, instead of just doing the number of pauses it would have been with just start pauses.
Floating point numbers. Floating point numbers in my SNES game? It's more common than you think.
Yeah, kinda.
All right, so we're heading back up to Death Mountain, but we're not going to equip Hookshot, and we're not going to equip Mirror.
Since it's a half pause, are you still holding select at this point?
No, I am not.
You
I'm
should
not.
have.
So it's not a half select press, it's just a half pause.
Yes,
you should
I
have. You should have actually hold select the entire time here, just for that.
Oh my gosh, I could have, couldn't I?
I still don't see what's happening, Glenn, so I'm...
All right, we got the item we wanted.
Okay,
Bombs.
Oh,
So-
are you doing what I think you're doing?
I think you made me
So-
think of it.
Oh.
I think Tompa also got it.
So we got a fairy.
Link to the Past doesn't have parallel universes, it just has parallel worlds.
Okay. Oh, I guess I'll explain why
do
we
have-
did a select press to, I guess, keep the fairy with us. So obviously we can't death warp with the fairy to reset the game while maintaining our save file, because the fairy would just revive us. And the only other way to save is to press the select button. So we needed to save. The reason we needed to save because we needed to hard reset the game to move our menu back to the bow. So like I was explaining before, when we toss a certain item that we toss into the water fountain doesn't actually move the menu forward, and that's bottle. So even if we toss the bottle into the water fountain, it wouldn't progress the menu. So we needed a way to get back up to bombs, which is why we had to save and continue and then hard reset. So here, notice this jump animation. So this jump animation prevents us from hovering over this gap. However, we can place a bomb, kill ourselves, have the fairy revive us.
And then start hovering.
Yep. So there's one frame where you can start a dash
Okay,
after
so
dying like that.
NMG-ish.
Well, it's totally NMG.
I
Yeah, that's
That's Randall.
That's completely NFG.
Fine.
It's just not useful in any other category.
Thank you for demonstrating to a whole new audience why our no major glitches definition really sucks.
Hey, I asked the community. I was like, "Is this NMG?" And they all said yes. So,
I think I told you yes too. I just didn't know what it was for.
so now we have Fire Rod. Normally for Turtle Rock, what you do is use cane to place blocks on top of these question mark blocks, and they create moving platforms. But here we're gonna hover some very long distances.
Shoutouts to Malibu Ken / Clint Eastwood.
Also, shoutouts to Yuzuhara for showing off that you can stand on top of these torches, which saves some time. So we had to light all 4 of those torches. to open this door. I had no idea what to do for this room. I literally had no idea.
Nice frame zero
Not
to
Clint
choose
Eastwood, Clint Beastwood. He's a Link to the Past runner that has actually done all of these hovers RTA.
Yeah, so
Showed that they're humanly possible RTA.
yes. So this entire dungeon is the reason this was done for in a TAS setting, is because no one has ever done all these rooms back to back like in an actual run. So, which actually brings up to the bounty I was talking about. So I'm going to put a $50 bounty on the first person to complete low pause run using this route. So $50 for all you hoverers out there. Show me what your button mashing can do.
Screenway, I think I take the $20.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. $20 for Ace versus $50 to tear your A button. I like hovering just as much as the next guy, probably.
A real cutie says this is not worth $50.
That bounty can literally eat a giant bag of dongs.
Yeah. So I don't know how many different inputs it would take for each of these individual rooms, but it's upwards of 300 total, I'd say.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you're moving 1 pixel, then 2 pixel, and 1 pixel at a time. You know, you're not moving a lot of distance. In the second you fall, you respawn in the last door you went through. Also, a little.
Wait. Are you not perfectly pumping during your hours?
No, I was perfectly pumping.
Yeah, obviously. But RTA.
But in terms of RTA would not be able to.
Hey guys, we haven't talked about pumping.
We briefly mentioned it.
Yeah.
So pumping is the strategy that we use to move 2 pixels at a time, or over and over, instead of like what we do against a wall.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, we never named it, I guess. Yeah.
With Link's walking animation going 2-1, 2-1 as you're moving left or up, on every other frame pressing, like if you need to move diagonal or if you're moving against the wall, while you're moving left, you can tap up, 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 up with it, and it will reset the movement animation if you're walking against the wall. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah.
It's weird sub-pixel math.
In RTA runs, it's done just by mashing directions and hoping you get the right pixel or the right frame. But
Yeah, on average, you save a few frames doing that, and
yeah. So that's why I walk up against this torch to get a couple extra pumps there. So instead of moving 1 and then 2 and then 1 and 2, when I'm up against the torches, I move 2, 2, 2, 2.
Also, something
All
to
right.
mention is
Pause
this is the
18.5.
something to mention. This is the only run you will ever see the ice pad killed first.
Yes. So
From,
the firehead comes alive first, but
Optimized.
since we already have fire rod equipped, we have to wait for the ice head.
This boss is directed by Michael Bay. 95% explosion, 5% action.
True. Does that also account for all the other bosses? I guess not. Almost. He doesn't explode. He just pops.
Cutie, please.
All right. So we have all the crystals now. We have all 7 crystals. So next up is Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, and I don't think we can save another pause by going away right now. So
No, we're just
We
going right
may-
to Ganon's Tower.
yeah, okay. So again, Sarah, we are either needing the King of Mario and Pirate for the right side, or the Hammer and Hookshot for the left side. With the Hookshot being in big air quotes, so we are kind of going that way. I would someone spam Dog's Throat to pick fight.
So there's two sides of Ganon's Tower. Basically, in every run, you go left, including this run. Oh, I wasted a single frame doing a Ice Rod dash just because I wanted to show off the weird texturing that the sword gets when you bonk with the Ice Rod. It happens with Fire Rod too, but... So say goodbye to that single frame. There's pause 19, by the way.
So we have 1 pause left.
Spoilers.
Yes, there's a single pause left. We'll cover that now.
What will be the last item that we need?
Also, a frame roll to get through that fire snake.
Shoutouts to FSG, frame ruling through the fire snakes.
So bombs, other items would have been used to hit those crystal switches, but we're gonna be needing bombs real soon. So
I guess there's desync, ZFG, if you want to tell us what the timer is at on your side.
Oh yeah, if you guys like pause the video for like 3 seconds, I think it'll sync back up.
2,
Yeah.
3,
Alright, now.
20102,
Okay.
3, 4, 5.
Alright, yeah, should be good now.
Yep.
okay, so this is the Ice Armos fight. Normally we'd use bow to fight it like we did originally, but we're gonna be doing something different.
Lag frames.
Yes, very much lag.
So the only reason we don't fight Amos is because we don't have arrows right now with bow, right?
Yes, we had bombs equipped. Now we have fire rod equipped. We got the big key, so we're ready to go to the later part of GT, the upper part. Yeah, as Tompa mentions, it was a nightmare to do that fight, even as a low optimization. I don't know how he even managed to do the fight with the bow, with ice physics. Okay, one thing to mention, up here, in this room, take a look at the red enemy in this room, right there. So, just watch, they're gonna be in this next room. Keep an eye on them.
And they're gone.
And gone.
Okay, so that is a glitch known as mimic clipping. So mimics, when they move, they mimic Link's movement.
Aptly named.
Yes. So when they move left or up, they don't check for collision against walls for a single frame. So if we switch them to facing any other direction after moving them left or up a single frame, then they slowly clip into the wall, and then once they get to a certain point, they just kind of ride the wall out of the room. So otherwise, we'd have to use bow to kill those enemies, but here, it ends up saving 2 pauses by clipping those out. And that was discovered by Aussie actually in the middle of this run, so it was about a year ago, right?
Sounds about accurate for the first time we even heard about it. And then earlier this year we actually had further optimization to that was more for randomizers, where we are able to actually clip them out fully. Before we only knew about clipping out one.
So what that allowed us to do was skip menuing to bow, and also maintain equipping the fire rod since we wasted all our bombs in the Ice Armos fight. So that fire rod is used here to light these torches.
And obviously hovering wherever possible just to show off.
All right. More torches.
And
So-
one last pause.
Pause 20.5, the very last pause of the run, to equip bombs to open that wall.
But wait, how are we crossing Modem Gap?
Oh yeah, so this guy's, we got Moldorm 2, just hover. Normally when you kill him, he spawns a chest which you can hookshot, but we don't like
know, you should have saved a bomb and done the bomb
that.
bomb leap,
That's
duck
a good-
jump.
Also, a little tidbit is if the Moldorm is making noise in the room before, that bumper kind of goes haywire. So now we got Aga 2. Similar to before, he takes 6 hits, but this time there's 3 of them.
Which also means that he's going to be a lot faster because suddenly we have 3 times 50 projectiles.
Alright, so that's Aga 2. Now we're ready to fight Ganon. So I'm going to start explaining the Ganon fight now. So the Ganon fight has 4 phases, and in each phase are like locked behind a trigger. So you can't start damaging the second phase until the first phase is finished. And there's 4 of them total, so I guess the first 3 phases are pretty basic, but the 4th phase is a little bit confusing. I don't know if someone wants to explain how
So
hitting Ganon like that works.
when Ganon is traditionally Ganon is to damage him, you're supposed to have to slash him, turn him for phase 4. You're supposed to have to slash him, turn him blue, hit him with a silver arrow. However, when he starts warping, there are a handful of frames where he will take damage from certain damage classes, and it so happens that the tempered spin will do damage to him.
Yeah.
And we can hit him with 12 spins during those warps, and
So this is phase 3 right now.
yeah.
So once this last side of the wall comes down is when phase 4 starts.
And that's when we have to start spinning them. We also are going to want to light this left torch before the right one goes out.
Yeah.
That will ensure that we never have to light the right torch. That's one of the few glitches you'll also find in the English version.
Yes. So casually you would attack Ganon once, turn him blue, and then switch to silver arrows to shoot 4 arrows into him. But obviously we don't want to switch items, and it's faster to do this. So
By the way,
Should
it
not
should
run
be
out of
obvious, but
magic.
get ready on time.
yeah.
All those hovers.
Okay, time stops right when we enter this door, when the screen goes fuzzy.
Hey, there are a lot of doggos in chat.
And time. So what was that? 2:07:20?
Yeah, 207 around there.
Yeah, I think I started the timer a bit late. 2:07:18 on the stream side, probably a few seconds longer than that.
Okay.
But GG,
GG's,
cool
everyone.
run.
That is Link to the Past low pause.
Yes,
Waffle. How long did this
20.5.
take you?
Started in August 2017, so around 15 months.
And how many re-records?
27,245. So a bit on the lower end because it's a low optimization, but it was a lot of fun.
And
So-
of course, TAS time comes up once this last pickbox tier closes.
Yeah, this was a really nice watch. I think chat enjoyed it a lot. How'd you guys like it?
Do we want to watch the credits or just skip ahead and get the death count?
Yeah, you can skip ahead to get the
Yeah, we can skip ahead.
because the
All
credits
right,
are about
here's-
10 minutes in this game.
Yeah, yeah, great credits. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, 29.
Oh,
29 total deaths.
More deaths than pauses.
we have 40 deaths short. Can we quickly go back?
So I guess like some real quick shout outs before we called out. Thanks to all the Link to the Past community, especially Scrivo and Michael for joining me. Shout outs to Khan, Espeon, Yuzuhara, Greenham, Dow, Duck, Owase, Aussie, Glan, True Blue, and everyone else that makes this community so great. And also shout outs to all the different people that do challenge runs in all different games. So Kaz Telek for all his low pause, OMG a tree, Nerds with Game, everyone that does all that stuff, as well as Panicoic for the Mario A button challenge. Yeah, that's about all I wanted to cover. So thank you for hosting, ZFG.
All right, yeah, this is great. Glad to have it. Always love
Rolling
these
out.
kinds of challenge runs. All right, so yeah, I guess that's it for this.